Hi everyone. I just want to come on and talk about the class that I took on SkillShare. It was called Designing the Life You Want, 4 Exercises for Clarity and Motivation. And it was by a YouTuber named Muchelle B. That's my daughter. Anyways, so essentially what the class went over was ways to not only improve your life, but to maintain the life that you want instead of reverting back to old habits that tend to take away from having the life that you want. That's the general overview of what it was. So how she achieved this was there's a downloadable PDF workbook that you can go through as you're taking the class and fill it out, or you can do it after you've taken the class. That's what I did. And essentially what she talks about is 4 ways that you can talk about things that scare you about your life, things that you think are positive, let's go through that actually. Okay, so the first exercise that she talked about was creating your anti-vision, and what that is basically a day in the life that you don't want. So if you were to be completely unhappy and dissatisfied with life, what would a day look like for you if that were the case? And mine was pretty depressing. I definitely got a slap in the face when I wrote that one about some things that I need to change in my life to ensure that that doesn't happen. And I'm going to include my workbook that I filled out. I'll include that so you can read it and see what I wrote. So the second exercise was called 80-20 Your Life. And basically it's a list side by side of positive experiences that you've had in your life and negative ones. Within the last 6 to 12 months of your life, you think of events that made you feel happy. You write those in the positive. And events that made you feel sad, you write those in the negative. And then you go through the list and determine any patterns that you see. Like, for example, mine, a big positive pattern was getting outside and playing with this one. So in doing that, you kind of see where you need to focus on and do more of in your life, as opposed to the negative column, which you need to do less of. The next exercise was called Creating Your Values. Sorry for the background noise. Creating Your Values. So they essentially give you a giant list of values that you pick through, and you focus on 5 specific areas that you want to implement in your life. And you can go back and look at these all the time, refer to them, and say to yourself, oh my gosh, stability was my number 1 value. I need to really hone in on why I thought that was important and how I can continue to implement that in my life so that I don't end up like my anti-vision or things like that. And the final thing was creating your perfect day. So it's basically the opposite of an anti-vision. You essentially write down what your perfect day looks like 3 years from now. And you can include things like your home life, your relationships, your family. You can even include atmosphere. I talked about what my house would look like 3 years from now, things like that. And really just having this workbook handy, I feel like, to refer back to will be really, really cool going forward. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to you about and what I learned. So hopefully you learned something too. All right, bye.